Today I'm going to look at some cassette tapes that I bought, see if they're any good. They were a bit damp. These ones are also with them, which weren't damp, but there's still a few new ones out there. Seem to mostly be these TDK B60s. I used to buy the D60s. A couple of dollars each. Good sound even after repeated usage. Durable tape, resist stretching. I don't know where these... the tapes made in Japan, and I think cassettes assembled in Thailand. I'd stopped using cassette before these ones had come out, but these seem to be popping up secondhand everywhere. And there's even a Sony one. I used to buy a few of the Sony tapes as well. Just your standard position type thing. High performance components, higher resistance to heat, which was good when they were used in cassettes, in cars, because a lot of the chewing in car cassette players was because the case is warped. Often people just left them sitting on the seat or whatever in the hot sun. So there's a few nice blank ones. And oh yeah, the first one's just an empty box. We've got the Lion King Collector's Edition, approximate 40 minutes activity cassette, but that was an empty box. That's from Avon Cosmetics, interestingly. So it must have been part of their pyramid selling scheme or something. Now that's an interesting one. BBC, I've never seen a BBC format or blank cassette before. Relaxation. Basically when I got these, they're all in like a polystyrene box, all damp. Someone must have left them out in the rain overnight. So I put them out in the sun. Luckily it was a nice hot day. This one actually still had, I felt a little bit of moisture in it, but even that must have come out in the end. So I might just see what they're like. Hopefully they don't all chew up or anything, and hopefully they work alright. Let's fast forward past the bit there. I was going to say it sounds terrible, but I think that's just the intro bit. Bit of ambient music or something. Of course, being a blank tape originally, you got no idea what the recording was like when someone did it. Doesn't sound the best, but it doesn't sound too bad. It could have been done on anyone's boombox or something. So that's an interesting blank tape. Like I say, I haven't seen a BBC one before. FX60. Just your normal type 1. Just iron oxide cheapo tape, 1988. So we know that the symbol is copyright 1988. I don't know about whether that tape would be that old. I don't remember seeing them in the 80s. Now, this was the sort of tape I used to buy, except the 60-minute version. The good old TDK D series, used to buy these by the box full. They were just a good basic everyday sort of tape. Get rid of some of the loose bits in there. Looks like it's all dried out nicely. The Commitments. Used to be Gary Moore and Blues Alive. That sounds a bit better. At least that's a bit higher level than that. I guess if you want a relaxation tape, you don't want it very high level, but it sounds a lot better than that other one. And we've just got blank at the end. No, it's just not that close to the end. I generally didn't use 90-minute tapes. There was nothing really wrong with them, but just really didn't need that long a tape, and it was more hassle to find things on them if you did have to go through them. Certainly isn't going to win any awards for high fidelity, that one, but again could have been recorded tape to tape. History, America's Greatest Hits. KTEL International. They used to sell a lot of stuff on TV, used to advertise various music stuff. A lot of this cardboard these were all sort of soaked and had condensation, if not outright water dripping off them. So surprisingly well they came up. Just the usual cheapo plastic looking case, but it is always worth checking these, not when they're KTEL probably, but some of these old tapes are on chrome tape, so it's best to always check them as you go through them.
while he's tickling her fancy, rubbing her.
Probably should have got an auto reverse tape deck, I guess, would have been a smarter move.
You can't disregard.
Sounds like it's basically working, so that's a good sign. What sort of music I normally listen to? Eruption. I Can't Stand the Rain, etc. No idea who that is. Copyright 1977. I should have looked at the other one. Does it actually, being KTEL, they probably don't even give you a proper, they give you a copyright date anyway. It's always used to be interesting to look and see, but it's, oh, that, yeah, it is KTEL, but Warner Brothers as well, so maybe Warner Brothers own the original. Yeah, so they probably don't want to tell you being KTEL because they don't want you to realise they're flogging you some old rubbish from the back catalogue at twice what it's worth, because that was kind of their shtick, I think. This is bubbling a bit from, that's a RCA tape, which I assume would be the music company maybe, or Hansa Music Production, but still RCA probably produced it. That sounds quite good. That certainly sounds better quality than the KTEL one. But without playing the whole tape you wouldn't know. But for something from the 70s, it's doing alright, I guess. Oh, these are some of the better ones. $8.99 originally. It's a Polystar. Would have been one of these companies that made these sort of mixtapes. Been recorded using Dolby B. But obviously this is from 1981 or that era. Produced by Polygram Records. So this is part of them in conjunction with CBS and Festival. Yeah, 1981. Distributed in Australia by Polygram TV Merchandising Division. It sounds like if it's called something like Polystar, which makes sense, it's part of Polygram. Used to see a lot of adverts for these things around. Always a good way of buying music back in them days when you didn't want it, you just wanted the hits and not all the albums with lots of rubbish on them, which they used to be like. Some bands put out a good album, but most of them you'd have one or two hits and the rest of it was pretty junky. So we've got a bit of REO Speedwagon, The Split Ends, The Angels, Kool and the Gang, Adam and the Ants, Loverboy, Elton John, Dr. Hook, Yeah, I'm Men at Work, The Reels, The Sports, Visage, Roxy Music. I wasn't really a fan of this earlier 80s stuff. Now I should have where's a biro in this place? Should have a biro handy because these have been shook around and stuff. And you should really wind them until the other reel goes. The tape deck will do it, but there is a risk something will go awry. Not the greatest sounding, but I don't really know that song, so. Definitely a good quality recording. And now the hassle is if you want to actually hear any, that's right, sort of around the middle. If you want to hear an actual song, you know, Keep On Loving You, REO Speedwagon. That was a common song for a long time. Ant Music, yeah, that was around for a bit. I remember that one. History Never Repeats. Try Out. My Sex. Old Aussie band. The Wild Colonial Boy, Dr. Hook. Well, I don't see anything particularly exciting. Maybe we'll go. At least I know REO Speedwagon, so we can rewind to that one. And what have we got here? Right in the Night, Best of Dance. Insane, the Best of Dance. I see Jam and Spoon, yeah, Culture Beat, Zane. This is more a, I guess maybe an earlier 90s, because we've got Southend with Nick Fish. The winner is. That's when Sydney won the Olympics, whatever year that was. Was that 2000? So it might be a bit later. I was expecting one of their earlier tracks. Insane in the Brain by Cypress Hill. That's not exactly dance music, but depends who you are, I guess. Now we have a TDK AD, normal bias. I don't know what the difference with these TDK. Most of them, like I say, were those D series. That might be an earlier one. And we've actually got back to the beginning. I think that was quicker than I expected. That's what happens when you're busy talking. Mates, natural condoms. Oh, there you go. Is that the brand of tape? Oh yeah, 5 cents from every pack sold is donated to AIDS research. Distributed by Ansell International. There you go. So it's just a promo for Ansell by the look of it. Style of music is probably why. I thought that was the RAO Speedwagon one. We're 2 tracks in. I guess I should have fast sided this. Does this thing actually search properly, this deck? I can't remember. That might be it. Yeah, I think that's been equalised up pretty high. That pretty much needs Dolby on that one to take the highs down a little bit. Does it say whether it's had Dolby? Yeah, Dolby, that was the one with the Dolby noise, so I think that actually does need Dolby. It's a little high pitched, but again, that music from then is probably a bit that way anyway. That one's alright. Yeah, I can't remember, I don't know when these TDK ADs came out. That's quite a good quality recording for a blank tape. That's a bit too bassy. Certainly got the doof doof going on that one. And while we're rewinding that, what do we got? Diana Ross. $8.99 at 4 Ways Devonport. So that's come from the other end of the state. I don't remember many Diana Ross songs, but she was quite popular there for a while. Dolby B again. International Australia in New South Wales somewhere. A subsidiary of KTEL. And it's copyright. Do we have it? Don't seem to have any sort of date on this one either. That's some weird, I guess, Nick Fish remix of Southend by the sound of it. He did a good remix of one of their other tracks, but that one sounds a bit weird. Well, a bit of classic Aussie music there. But yeah, at least that's a blank sort of tape, so I might put that in the blank collection. Then we've got Diana.
It's my turn to see what I can see.
Yeah, at least these all seem to be in pretty good condition so far. Oh yeah, it's got a KTEL cassette number on it. Does it have a date? Nothing. I guess KTEL didn't like to tell you when their stuff was from, which makes sense because I don't want people thinking it's old, I guess. Supernaut, Polydor Records. Vaguely sounds familiar, but I've got no idea what it is. Stereo, also playable in mono. Well, that's true. Looks, sounds very 70s. 1976. Supernaut and Tony Cohen, all Australian compositions recorded in Australia. So, let's try checking that out. She's wound up alright. Distributed by Phonogram. No. Doesn't sound the best. Lots of dropouts there. Might be a bad patch in the tape, or I mean, the problem with these, a lot of these 70s tapes, they didn't last the best. I would call that one probably a rubbish bin job, really. That's not the best. So I'll put that one to one side. Moonshine by Brian Cadd. Manufactured by Fable Record Company, bootleg. Yeah, don't know who that is. No date on it, I don't think. And we're at the end of that side. I think that wasn't the smartest place to put it in. Bit louder, that one. So normally they were pretty good at keeping the levels all the same, but I think that one's probably in good condition. So it's just quite a big random collection. Best of Bill Cosby. Well, he ain't known as the best these days, is he? Did he actually put out music? Warner Brothers? Who knew? Also available on cassette, a whole bunch of other stuff. Doesn't give us a date or anything. Sounds like it's pretty old. LA Woman by the Doors, 13 by the Doors, Jethro Tull, Iron Butterfly, the Rolling Stones, Sticky Fingers. So I don't know if it means it's around that era. Warner Brothers M5 1798 is probably the recording number.
Two mosquitoes, male or female.
Oh, we've got a pad out of one.
The rabbits, only two. Only.
Oh, I found this little felt pad, and that's when I realised that this tape, what was it again? Supernaut, that sounded bad. Probably what's wrong with it, and sure enough, it's missing the little felt pads. That's dropped out of there on that little copper bit, so I might put a bit of, see if I can do it. Pretty much has a little bit of contact adhesive glue on there. A little bit of quick grip stuff should do it. Oh, if I can even open it. I might even put the glue on the, I don't know, should I put it on the copper or on the little felt pad? But either way, yeah, it's actually got some sort of papery stuff there. I wonder if it fell off. I might even use some pliers on that, I think, because it's going to stick to my finger otherwise, more likely, and it's going to be hard to position. But if we can keep that off the tape, I guess once it's dried it probably won't matter. But now of course I can't get it to stay there. Push that into position and we'll let that set, and we can try that tape again. I reckon it'll probably sound alright then. I might even just leave that, oops, I was meant to leave it looped up a bit. Just in case there's any glue on the other side. Put that one to one side and that will probably repair that one. I forgot they tend to do that these days. Back when I used to use cassettes, it was very rare to see one of those fall out. But anyway, at least we know Bill Cosby is just a comedy tape by the sound of it, spoken word thing. We've got, Rumours by Fleetwood Mac. That's a pretty commonly still played, probably some of the tracks off this. What's it got on it? Go Your Own Way, that certainly gets played. I don't know about any of the other tracks. And I'd say, looking at where the tape is, that was probably one of the last tracks played on it. Warner Brothers, don't think it gives a date again. Dolby noise reduction. And I think we must be at the end of the tape. Warner Communications. Yeah, it's really annoying when they don't put dates on things unless it's on the tape. I don't think it is. That sounds like it. Another one that almost needs Dolby on. It's a little high. A little bell thing or whatever down the background is quite loud. Status Quo, whatever you want. By Vertigo Music, Dolby B again. 1979. That looks to be a better quality tape, but is it? Made in Australia? Probably not. Looks a bit darker colour, which sometimes the chrome ones do. They should be a little bit different, but sometimes it's just a normal tape. What happened there? Yeah, that's a pretty well known song. Sounds pretty good quality, so these tapes do seem to be in good condition even after a bit of a drink. Maybe a bit of a drink is what they needed. Maybe they're all been washed. Delius. On hearing the first cuckoo in spring. London Philharmonic Orchestra. Probably a bit more modern, or it looks like a more modern tape. Copyright 1977. Produced and recorded. Classics for Pleasure, October 1977. Then copyright, or what does P stand for again? It was copyright, and I forget what the other one even was now. So long since I read it. Yeah, that's a more modern sort of tape. Definitely wasn't made back then. Oh well, might make a good test tape or something. That is a very good quality recording, really. That's probably one of the better ones I've heard so far. Yeah, the inevitable Meatloaf Bat Out of Hell. I think there's actually 2 copies of it in here. Copyright 1977. Dolby B. There's always a Meatloaf around somewhere. Oh yeah, the old pink leader tape. Haven't seen that in a long time. I don't particularly ever want to hear Meatloaf again. Used to get a lot of radio play. Yeah, no, definitely do not want to hear that again. Nazareth, I remember that band name. Geez, this cassette housing or cassette cases had a lot of work. Stereo also playable mono, that must have been some of the 70s thing to put on there. Phonogram 73 to 75. Old Vertigo. Marketed by Phonogram, Wellington, New Zealand. Well, there you go. Looks like it's relatively intact. What a high level recording. Certainly sounds pretty 70s. But at least it's in good condition. Willie Nelson, that's another one you tend to find in things. Pink leader tape again. I think that one's a little loose. Bit of wow on that one. Copyright 1978. Well, it sounds like it's still in good condition though. I did seem a little wowy at the beginning there. Maybe that was just the way it is. Earth Band, The Roaring Silence. Probably more 70s type era stuff. Festival Records. Dolbyized. Do we have any labels about to come off? Half off on each side. And with a bit of work it would probably come right off. Manfred Mann's Earth Band. Yeah, copyright 1976, Bronze Records. Manufactured and licensed by Festival Australia. We've got some music on here. Well, that side doesn't seem to have a jack. Ah! Doesn't seem to have jack leader tape either. So that one's busted. Oh well, I guess we're going to have a quick look whether we can fix it. Which was the usual, at least these things are repairable. If they're not like magnetised or, you know, completely half erased, that sort of thing, then there's not much you can do with them. But a tube one can have the tube bits removed. Where did my little screwdriver go? Oh, that'll do. Can't get the other one down in the hole. And it doesn't want to come out anyway. Typical. Sometimes you've got to prise them apart a bit and yeah, try and force the part, two halves apart. Not made out of the best quality plastic, a lot of these things. There we go. Possibly someone's already been in here is why it's chewed out a bit. Screws are a little rusty, so this one probably was wet for a while. And yeah, we've got a pink leader again, and it's broken off at the end of the leader for some reason. I think it's actually, it's detached at the join. So I wonder if the actual splice broke or something. Well, I made a mess of that, didn't I? Shouldn't have lifted it up with all that loose stuff there, I guess. That is a hazard when they've got loose windings on them, but it's probably not that long a piece of tape, believe it or not. So we can sort of pull that off and wind it back in, or even just wind it on. It's a little difficult. It's not the most cooperative stuff, especially when it's got twists in it. Yeah, this one's particularly not cooperative, I think. I might put it back in the case. So at least we've got one side jammed up against something. And possibly around that little roller. So, not that I really care about this tape, but if you were going to try and salvage it, the best way is usually to wind it on like that. Maybe I can use a pen, but it's got a lot of twists in it. If you can get some of them out of it, get them further down the tape a bit, and keep your finger on there so it can't curl up again. And that little roller's doing a pretty good job of keeping the twists out of it, and now I've got a whole bunch of them, which is what happens. Let's get the end loose, and then if you pull the end out straight, it should get all the wrinkles and twists and stuff to move to the end, basically to unravel. So it's not hard to fix it when it goes like that. Oh, this has got just a little tiny pin in there. I think they're a bit of a pain, those ones, but I think it's actually glued in. I think some of these commercial ones, they did make them so you couldn't really repair them, which is annoying. And another thing that sometimes needs doing is these plastic sheets. Oh, there goes all the screws. You can see the wear on them. Sometimes they get bad and cause a lot of friction. Any bits of dust and gritty stuff get in and chew into those. So sometimes you've got to like replace the case, replace those little inserts, because you'll find it won't rewind very well, may not even play very well. But they can usually be got back in a working order. I think this one we're going to have to do the old bit of sticky tape trick just to get it going. So if I just get some sticky tape, cut a little thin strip the same width as the tape. I might even cut this down a bit because we don't need a bit that long. This tape's quite wide. Half the width of the tape will do. Get a little piece like that, and of course you want it stuck on the back of the tape, definitely not in the front. Doesn't really matter so much with audio heads, but it may leave a bit of glue or something behind on the heads. I need to flip that over, stick about half of it to that bit, and I didn't get that very straight because I'm not very good at this, having not done it for a long time. Trim it down a bit, and then you just line it up with the other one. They did make proper equipment, I think, to make this job easier and more accurate. I didn't get that awfully straight, and we got a little bit sticking over the sides. I'll try and get rid of that without cutting the actual tape in half on with the other end of the scissors. You normally try and get them as square as possible so they're right in line without anything really overlapping. Now we're messing up our tape, but this is what you can do to resurrect them. Normally you'd only bother, I'll get that reel out and try and get all the twists out of it on something really worthwhile. But back in the day when these things cost quite, especially the commercial ones, cost quite a bit of money relative to wages, we would try and patch up tapes and get them going again because it was actually worth it. And I'm going to have to, actually what I should do is wind it to the very end so that I can get, that gives you tension when you turn it so that you can get the tape in place. Oops, there goes our label, so that it tightens up, because you've got to fit it into sort of slots under there, otherwise it'll crinkle up when you try and put the case back together. But yeah, these are all pretty chewed out, these screw holes. Not sure if someone opened this up before and over tightened them or what, but they don't really tighten properly. But old Manfred Mann can be played again now, even though I don't think I'll ever listen to it. Pretty much nothing from the 70s that I really listen to. Okay, let's try again. We'll fast forward anyway, because we don't want to play that bit over the heads. Is that going? Uh-oh. What the hell's going on here? One reel's going and the other isn't. Ah! Bloody reel moved on me. Oh, I didn't see that happen. It shouldn't have happened. Must have been when I was fiddling around tightening that thing up. Oh, probably when I pulled it, did it? God, the things that happen. I haven't had that ever happen before, I don't think, but the reels move somewhere. Oh, other screw. Now we've got the problem of trying to get it apart again. Look, there goes that screw. That's how badly you got it. Now they're all needing prizing apart. And the reel go, yeah, dropped down. Sneaky little bugger. And now I've still got to try and pull it tight again. So maybe that pulling it tight like that wasn't the best idea. Now it's come off the other. I should have just chucked Manfred in the rubbish. For God's sake, these screws. This one really wants a new case. Everything's got completely out of whack because I didn't notice the reel popped off its little rails. So yeah, maybe you've got to get it a little tighter before you now the plastic bit's dropped off. Oh man, I know they're fiddly. I think this, I should have actually opened it with this bit down. Might have been the easier way, but anyway. Yeah, I forget what the technique was to get these. You really need 2 pens, I think, is the key. And I happen to have 2 pens. I think you'd hold that one in place. That might have been the technique, and now the case has dropped too early. Yep. That's better. That way one of them can't get dragged out of position. Yeah, looks like it's been a long time since I've had an audio cassette apart. Not that I can remember anyway. Maybe I've done one recently, but there is a bit of a technique to them like anything else. Oh, well, that's where one of the screws went, and the other one's over there. One of them landed on top of the cassette player. Anyway, there's not much point even putting them in because they sort of don't really go in that well, and then they don't come out again. Okay, so now yeah, we've definitely got action. Let's try again. Now we're in business. Wrapped up like a douche in the Rona in the night is what that sounds like. So some interesting misheard lyrics on that one. Haven't lived through the coronavirus. I guess Rona is a word in the lexicon now.
And spoke to those.
That's a very good quality sound record. I don't think these tapes have had an awful lot of use necessarily. And I guess we can keep going forever with these things. What do we got? Urban Cowboy, original soundtrack. Dolbyized. Doesn't seem to have a date on it. Dance, the devil went down to Georgia. Hearts Against the Wind, Lion Eyes, All Night Long. Don't even remember the name of the movie, but are these original artists? Possibly. Pretty random mix of music, that's for sure. Sounds a bit country.
As we sway to the music and hell.
But seems to be in working condition. 2 LP tape, $14.99 recommended retail price. Unless it's an extra long one, maybe it is like equivalent of 2 LPs. Here we've got a rainbow quality stuff. I can still remember they were pretty dodgy tapes. These are like the cheapest of the cheap kind of ones. Johnny Warman, is it? Walking in the Mirrors, the Blues Brothers, Briefcase Full of Blues. But yeah, these sort of rainbow and type brands, the sort of thing you'd buy once when you're a kid or something because you think, oh, it's a nice cheap tape, and realise how absolutely awful they sounded, and you wouldn't buy them again. There's actually a piece broken out of this one, probably because it's El Cheapo plastic. A lot of hiss on it, but that could just be whoever recorded or whatever. Yeah, I think that is a rubbish bin job. Probably a big blank bit on the other side. Don't think we want to hear that. Case is cracked. Yeah, another old blank tape. And another one. Index, Joe Cocker, The Essential Collection. What brand is this thing? And not another rainbow, it's a high-tech. Another El Cheapo junky one. Kind of almost worth keeping for its tackiness, I guess. Bit of kitsch history. C90. These weren't too bad sometimes for like computer tapes and stuff. Cheap, and you didn't care if they're too hi-fi. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. She's jammed. No, it does run. The tape deck doesn't like it. That was a problem with C90 sometimes. And it's going now. What the hell happened there? Maybe it was a bit stuck or something. Sounds fine. Definitely Joe Cocker. Yeah, well that one's like new. I mean, it actually does look kind of like new. Maybe it got recorded and hardly used. What have we got here? We've got fantastic 20 original hits. Oh, here's a mix. Slade, Bee Gees, Gary Glitter, Elton John, Olivia Newton-John. This is going to be 70s or something as well, probably. KTEL. Oh, Piedmont 2009. That would be the postcode. I was going to say, I doubt it's that new. Majestic. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be much of interest there unless you're in the 70s on your boombox, because I'm guessing that 70s sort of era A lot of loose tape in that one. It's quite a long tape, probably a 90-minute at least. So this is probably a 2 EP or LP type one. No dates on it. Doesn't sound the best. Maybe because it's a quiet patch. Doesn't sound very good, but bit better recording on that song, I think. Not really my thing. Just a Boy, Leo Sayer. God, Leo Sayer. I haven't even heard of Leo Sayer in a long time. Can't remember what his music was like, but again, 70s, I think. Played to death on the radio. 1974, God, that's pretty early. Cassette was still new back then. At least for average consumer.
It was over. Au revoir.
Still sounds okay though. For what it is anyway. Yeah, definitely your standard 70s sort of music. Songs About Me, 5 personalised songs from Kitty's Kingdom 2000. And that says copyright 1992. Sung by Wendy Fine, recorded by Grey Stoke Music, Sydney. Worldwide marketing, maybe I should read one thing, Moorabbin, Victoria. Well, it's a nice yellow cassette. Looks like some kids one or something, I guess. Oh well, only chance to ever hear it, I guess.
Songs only for you. Get all the things you can do. You can feel.
Well, it's a good quality recording at least.
Song, it's for you. Hear the song, it's just for you.
Even if it's not great music, that is actually very well produced by the sound of it, well recorded. And this is Jan and Dean story, the Jan and Dean story. Surf City. Distributed again by K-Tel. There's a lot of people bought this K-Tel stuff, but it was kind of aimed to be a bit more popular and often heavily advertised on television. Typical surf music. I think I can hear a little bit of the other tracks playing through on that, on the silent bit there.
Yes, you stole all my heart.
Yep, sounds like the Beach Boys and every other thing like that.
2 girls for every 2.
Well, that is them, I think, isn't it? So, look at this. Doesn't say original artists and stuff, so it sounds pretty original, so I don't know. But you had to watch that you didn't end up with crappy stuff, all your favourite songs sung by some band you never heard of that did a poor job of it. We've got greatest hits of rock and roll. Yeah, I'm sure it is. 40 something, can't read it, can't read anything there. Good job, people. Maybe that's just meant to be the record cover. Whole lot of shaking, Return to Sender, Hey Rock and Roll, Under the Moon of Love, Tutti Frutti, Shake, Rattle and Roll, Kansas City, At the Hops. That sounds more like it's going to be like 50s or 60s stuff. Copyright 1979. Bit of dirt muck in that. I think that's wound up fairly well. Maybe not the best. And started turning straight away. Amiga Records, 1979. Oh, let's have a quick listen. Oh God, yeah. Now that was a common song once upon a time. Yeah, I've heard that a few times. Yeah, it sort of rocks along. That sort of stuff's not that bad. Not something I'd choose to listen to necessarily, but it's kind of good pop music. Yngwie J. Malmsteen's Rising Force Odyssey. That looks more like an 80s kind of tape with that. Made in Australia. Everything seemed to come in these blue and white things. I certainly owned a few tapes that I bought new in exactly that sort of case. First published in 1988. Polygram Records. Don't know what on earth that is. And we need to wind up a bit of stuff. Oh yeah. Hard rock sort of stuff. That's almost something I could listen to. I'll have to put that one aside. Definitely 80s, more my sort of thing. Rachel Sweet, Blame It On Love. Copyright 82. Don't think I've ever heard of this. Made in Australia, CBS, Voodoo, Paralysed, etc. Nah, might be something I've heard though. Doesn't sound familiar. Sounds like a bit later in the 80s that one, but hits of the 60s. Again, one of these kind of tapes. Contour, probably made in the 80s or something. Copyright 63, 64, 5 and 6. What does it say? Contour Records, blah blah blah. No, it doesn't. Made in England. Oh, so it's not the usual Aussie one. Even though the tape's a similar looking thing, maybe that was just a style everywhere. I'm sure on Discogs or something you could find out when it came out. Still sounds right, so all these tapes have been good so far, which is surprising. Often you find a few dodgy sounding ones. 1981, The Sounds, another one. Boomtown Rats, Adam and the Ants again. Juice Newton. Cheetah, John Farnham. Early Farnham. Akadaka. Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution. Flowers, Dire Straits. Dr. Hook, Split Ends again. The Swingers. And here's another one of these style of tapes. Whether it was made back then or not. Was it EMI? Dolby. Manufactured and distributed by EMI Australia and New Zealand. Copyright 1981. Oh dear. That doesn't sound too happy. Could be these cassette players like that. Is like the longest tape is out to there. That's 120 minute, I reckon. I don't know how this tape deck copes with longer tapes. Even at the other end it's not happy, so it's not the best. Don't think the cassette player likes that much. Yeah, here it goes squealing again. We broke it. And we got another blank tape of some sort of Phillips. Oh, shut up. Must find out what's doing that. Phillips Smash Hits 87. These were the good sort of collections. Bananarama, Queen, Shantuzzi's, Michael something. God, I can barely read this writing. Is that Noiseworks, Funky Town, Pseudo Echo? Yeah, that sounds like about 1987. This is another super long. Oh, so well, someone's put it in. This is the original tape. Nice. but they must have lost the original case or insert. This one might have trouble playing as well. I haven't put new belts in this deck, so who knows. Well, it sounds like new. But at least that plays alright, so I don't think it's the cassette player. I think that's a little bit out. This cassette player may not like long tapes. Yes, that's just a Phillips insert. Let's have a look at it. I haven't seen old Phillips like that in a while. Kind of like some of these old cassette labels and stuff they used to come with. Just saw a documentary on them. They reckon they banned that song after 9/11 in America because it was mentioned Egyptians. What would the 80s be without Europe on there? But that tape is in good mix. That'll be a good boombox tape. Uriah Heep. I've heard of them, but no idea what they are. It doesn't want to come out of the box. More 70s, I think. She's a lot of tracks. Oh no, that's the other. That's not the tracks. That's the other ones they're selling you. Gypsy, Bird of Prey. Uriah Heep Down Under, spelled weirdly. Stereo and playable mono, so definitely 70s, I think. Manufactured by whatever. Someone's name on it. Ooh, that didn't sound too happy. That does not sound very happy at all. Ooh, it's barely playing the cassette. It's squealing. It's making the belt slip, I think. Oh, the felt pads go. Oh, yes, it's tight as a. That's interesting. The splice is a diagonal one. I don't think I've ever seen a diagonal splice before. How cool is that? Oh, now the felt's dropped off. Has it gone a bit looser? So that needs fixing. The felt is cactus. God, this is going to turn into a long video. Bombora, the Atlantics. CBS stereo, so I guess that's probably from America. Same name on it again. These probably all belong to the same person, I guess. Piano Man, Billy Joel. So this is a mixtape, is it? Art and Garfunkel, Bob Dylan, Barbara Streisand. Oh, God help us. Chicago. Oh no, these are just different. I'm not reading the track listing again. The Gremlin King. Ooh, sounds a bit surfy kind of music. Well, it is surfing on the front, isn't it? Sounds a little drop outy, that one. So probably not perfect. It's got its felt in. Ooh, what on earth is on the tape there? Is that writing? It's got something. Looks like it's got something written on it. No, it's just a piece of brown muck. Where I stopped it, and the tape is quite curled. Probably showing it's not in the best condition. Oh yeah, it's definitely. Oh yeah, now we've got some lumpier bits. That part of the tape's probably bad, potentially. Yeah, it sounds a bit better on that bit. Ah, the Beatles. Real music. EMI Records. Could be a bit later, this one. It's got the standard white tape, but doesn't tell you much. I doubt you get to play much of that without a copyright strike. Sounds very good, so it's a good recording. in good condition by the look of it. Hit Wave. Oh, this might be another compo. Yeah. Boney M, 10cc, Marcia Hines, Johnny Cougar. Not my sort of stuff. I was down Polystar again, made in Australia. With Dolby B, 1978. So yeah, getting a few 70s compilations, which you don't normally see many of them around on cassette. A lot of people still probably using vinyl. Whoops, there goes Dire Straits. Just died, I think. Possibly there's a few sticky patches from being wet. Oh no, The Rivers of Babylon. Thank God I didn't hear that. That song's been played too many times. Yeah, Salt and a Swing by Dire Straits. John English. So there's probably a few Aussie people on here. Johnny Cougar. Genesis. Sweet. Never heard of them. Well, nothing exciting there. John Lennon. Oh my God, Yoko Ono. A Warner Record Company thing. Supposedly, I don't know if I've ever heard Yoko Ono sing, but supposedly it's terrible. Didn't mind the Beatles, but hopefully she's not singing. I've heard that song. That must be it. As bad as they say. Oh, Bat Out of Hell again. I guess we should check it actually works. Not that I want to hear any Meatloaf again. That's enough. Good. That can go with the Yoko, I think. And I've got another, what is it? Chapel. Oh. Can't even read their writing. Not much difference between the C and the E, but there is a bit. Chapel Music or something, was it? Possibly. Oh, it's a Maxell inside, so with a weird white ring around it. Made in Japan, so at least that's probably a good tape. More relaxation music. Oh, there we go.
Breathing exercise is alternative breathing.
Oh,
This is
real
a
relaxation.
procedure. It's good for a rushed, hectic day.
Catch your breath again.
Release your thumb and use your ring finger to close your left nostril.
Yeah, it doesn't sound that relaxing.
And buttocks.
Buttocks.
Let the relaxations
Let's hear more about that.
deepen. Relax your feet, ankles, calves, shins,
Relax your shins.
knees,
What?
thighs, and buttocks.
And fall on the floor.
Let the relaxation spread to your stomach.
Maybe we're already on the floor at that point. Oh well, there's a self-help relaxation tape. Explosive Hit 74, another compilation from that same dude again by the look of it. Someone's written their name on it. Made and distributed by EMI Australia. It's got the old HMV logo there. My Cougar Devil Gate Drive. I am Pegasus, hooked on a feeling, dance with the devil, Billy, don't be a hero. Ships in the night, too pooped to pop. Well, I don't know any of them. I haven't heard of Too Pooped to Pop before. Doesn't have a date. Certainly sounds very 70s though. Well, there's probably been a million versions of that done. Oh, this is only just listing a few of the main tracks, is it? Hooked on a Feeling, Dance with the Devil, Paper Lace, I have heard of them, Blue Swede, Cozy Powell, The La-Di-Da's, New England Conservatory Ragtime Ensemble. Oh, ZZ Top, La Grange, no, there's Hot Chocolate. I remember a few Hot Chocolate songs. They had a couple of decent tracks. Susie Quattro, The Hollies, Billy Thorpe, Diana Ross, Stevie Wright. So where's ZZ Top? And this is the problem, I'm trying to find it. Well, I've lost them. Oh, there they are. Number 7 on side 1. Of course, we're on side 2. Oh, we must be getting towards where they'd be, maybe. How many tracks are on there? Oh, it's towards the end, so probably a bit further in. I could have a listen to ZZ. They were pretty cool in the 80s. Don't know if they had their little hot rod back then. In the 70s, probably not. Probably quite a different band back then.
We were wet and work day and night to earn our daily bread.
Pretty sure that ain't them. That's not. Oh, that's Hot Chocolate, maybe. Yeah, that was definitely Hot Chocolate. I just realised that I know that guy's voice. Don't know that song, but here's the ZZ Top. Hey, I think I've heard this track. Yeah, it's a classic, that one. Yeah, a bit of a classic there. That all seems to be working. And got a couple left. Rainbow. Richie Blackmore's Rainbow. Black Sheep of the Family. 16th century Greensleeves. Oyster, made in Australia. Doesn't say much else about it. I think, do we have a date here? This stereotape gives monaural reproduction when played on monaural equipment. This tape is mastered to Dolby B standards for noise reduction. Decreased treble response when playing on non-Dolbyized equipment. EMI Australia. Ronnie Dio. I'm pretty sure he's from Dio the metal band, isn't he? Oh, here we go. Cassette care. Do's and don'ts. Don't store cassettes on top of loudspeakers or other sources of magnetism. Don't store cassettes on radiators, other hot surfaces, or in strong sunlight. Don't drop cassettes on the floor or subject them to other violent knocks or vibration. Don't leave them in the cassette player when not in use. Don't open the plastic case or tamper with the tape in any way. Why not? If I've got to fix it. Do return cassettes to the storage box after use. Do clean tape heads regularly. Do have cassette player regularly serviced once a year by a reputable dealer. Yeah, it's a bit overboard. Do take up any unusual slack in the tape, rotating in the required direction. I mean, if you clean the head regularly, you don't normally need to get them serviced. Probably wouldn't hurt to check them out maybe every 5 to 10 years. Alright, let's see if this works alright. Sounds a bit dodgy. Don't think that's running as fast as it should in the Q review mode. But definitely 70s sound and stuff. Didn't sound so good on that second side. And the last one, Strange Spirits, the Scat Brothers. Dolby B again, stereo, also playable on mono, so it's quite a bit of 70s, looks like someone's 70s music collection. Copyright 1979, Casablanca Record and Filmworks Incorporated. First published 1980 USA, made in Australia by Polygram Records. Under license basically. Stereo, I mean, yeah, it's the irony, they still had to tell you that it was actually a stereo recording back then. And this is, yeah, much more like the old labels of those days. Strange Spirits. Another pink leader tape, that seems to have been the standard in these earlier ones. Well, it sounds like it's still pretty good quality condition. But yeah, your typical 70s sound of music. It's a bit different. Well, it's a bit disappointing. Only one decent 80s compilation. That was kind of the reason I bought this lot, was because I saw a few compilation tapes in there. I was going to pick them out, and then I thought, why don't I just buy the whole box? It only probably cost me about $10 anyway, if that. 25 for this, and a couple of small things, and a DJ style Denon dual CD player that doesn't work, which I'd say was worth at least $15 on its own, so it was a good price. Obviously a bit of a risk that there might be damage to them, but they all seem to have survived, besides a slightly wrinkled bit of cardboard here and there. Even that's in surprisingly good condition. I mean, this Smash Hits tape, if it had the box with it, would be worth a few dollars on its own. Yeah, certainly some nice 80s tracks there. And it still sounds like it's in very good condition. Yeah, shame it doesn't have the original artwork and stuff with it. Take me to a funky town, won't you? Yeah, and a couple of blank tapes that are okay. The rest of this 70s stuff I'm not really interested in. Guess I'll have to find someone who likes 70s music, maybe chuck them on eBay or something. At least I've tried most of them and they're okay. Which was the one? That's, I mean, God, look at the size. I can't get over the amount of tape in that thing. That was one of the ones that played badly, I think, and this one's this, possibly just this tape deck, but both of those look like they're getting on the 120 minutes. And that one's still got substantially more tape. That's got a bit on the other reel, or both of them do. That is an enormous tape. It's only got 9 tracks per side. Maybe they're longer than usual tracks. Let's have a look. Where's a? Well, let's look at a C90. Maybe they really. Well, that's right in the middle. No, it probably is just a 90-minute. Yeah, it's about the same as a 90-minute tape. I forgot how much tape they actually had on a 90-minute. But didn't seem to have trouble with the other 90-minute tapes. And I think that was the one with the... Didn't one of these... Oh, it's the other one. Oh, that's the one I fixed. This is the one that was actually... This has got the foam pad falling off. And there it comes out. So I might glue that one back on and we'll try it again. Oh yeah, the one with the diagonal splice. That was a bit of an interesting feature. But that is tight as. That's might be one to look inside. Let's have a feel of the other one. Was that? I don't think that felt. That's loose, very loose. I think that one was playing up. This is. I can, you know, you can turn it, but barely. It's quite once it sucks that little loop back in. That one's with a loop there. This is a glued together one too. So this is. Might be a good chance to have a look. This needs a new. It's got some crunchiness on the side of the tape. There's not much point fixing the thing, but this is one of these cheapo. They did make them, cheapo cassette housings. And I think you got to kind of crack them up like that. They're glued together. Probably should just chuck it in the road. Oh god, so that's the problem. They do tend to break. They put quite a bit of glue down the side of them, I think, or melted them together or something. You can get in that little record tab slot and squeeze, crunch. Maybe prise the rest open with a screwdriver. I think there's another tab up in the top here in the middle. Yeah, you can see something. This is going to have, yeah, pretty rubbishy. These things are probably, there's muck on it. Often it's these plastic bits have had it, or it could be the rollers aren't turning. They seem to be turning alright. Yeah, now we've got twists in it there. Not much fun audio cassettes. Oh no, so as soon as you touch it, more and more keeps coming off. Not much fun to play around with. It could be, so that feels tight there. I can't believe that. I can't even turn that on there very well. That is super sticky. Something's pretty wrong with this one, I think. I doubt it was anything to do with that water. That I think it's just these plastic. Sometimes it's the case is warped, but that just has a lot of friction. Stop coming off. God damn it. It feels a little looser there, but look at these stupid things. I think we might just toss that one in the garbage. And yeah, that is super tight. That shouldn't be that tight on there. It does seem an awful lot of friction. Yeah, it's better on that side, I think. Yeah, that's normal. That feels like, that's weird. It seems to have a super amount of friction on that side. Sometimes you're best just to, it's actually worn through it in places. You can see the clear. Sometimes you can flip them over and use the other side. Sometimes you have to completely replace them. And this one, obviously the case isn't going back together. I'm just interested for my own entertainment, basically, whether that feels better. Oh god, they always slip off. This just wants to unravel. That's still, look at that, you can see the plastic. Jeez. So I'm not sure if it's the tape itself is sticky or the, let's have a look at the other side of this thing. Oh, it's, yeah, see the reel isn't, it's not running on the reel is part of the problem. The tape's become off center, so this reel should stick out, it's sticking out one side. I bet if we put it on the other way it slips nice, that's why it slips. So it could have been a bad tapes wound, cassette players wound this onto one side or something. I don't know why it ends up off centered. But if the plastic reels on this, it's fine. But when you try and rotate this with all the tape, it's just like 0.5 millimeter or maybe more. It steps up again a bit further out. When that's rubbing on the plastic, it adds a heap of friction. It's strange to be, I mean, these rollers should really be the things that guide it. So maybe the case is warped. Maybe the cassette player is in somehow, pulled the tape to one side or something. But if that was rewound or fast forwarded, I mean, that could be the issue with that other one too. It's probably got, so that didn't feel like it had friction, but it was playing badly, I think. Whoops. Anyway, I don't think I'll bother wasting my time with that. Whatever it was, Uriah Heep. Now, which one was the case for that one? 1981 sound. Oh, Uriah Heep. Yeah, this rotten old. That's all stained and horrible. Yeah, it's rough as guts. So I think we'll just put that in the dump. So that's not bad. Only one dud tape and one empty case. And yeah, we've got a few. Why did I leave that one out of that? Oh, I took that out to see if it was what a 90-minute look like. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 2, 4, 6, 30 to, I think about 34 good tapes out of that. Oh, plus some more up there. 34, 5, 6, 7, 8, probably about 30, nearly 40 tapes I got out of that. I guess this one that's missing, we can chuck the paperwork. That's probably a bit more modern cassette housing. Some of these with a little thumb grip were always handy. There's a few of them in here. I didn't see them that often, but some of them did have a little thumb grip there to make the thing easier to hold while you opened it. So 40 odd cassettes for, yeah, like probably around $10. They did need drying out, but that didn't take, well, it didn't take that long, but it did take a little bit of time, because I remember it wasted about 20 minutes putting them all back in their cases, thinking it wouldn't take long. But it wouldn't have took too long to get them out. It's just putting everything back in the right order. And a few, yeah, like old school TDK, shame it doesn't have all the labels to go with it. A few blank tapes. A few different brands I haven't seen. So yeah, generally a worthwhile exercise. I doubt I'll ever really have a listen to them. There's not really much here I care about. I might keep a few of these blanks. I'll keep the 1987. Good case. Why did I put those ones up there? I can't remember. Yeah, most of this is not anything I'm interested in. Don't think I care about most of those 70s. Does it have a better... Oh, that was the Ansel one. That can probably go besides. Yeah, I don't know about the rainbow tapes, they were junk. BBC blank tape. TDK is always worth keeping just as a test tape. Hitwave 81. Yeah, I don't think there's any of these I really want to keep. Bill Cosby. So virtually, I thought there would actually be a little bit more music that might have been usable. A good Maxell tape. So I got a couple of good blanks out of it. Always handy for test purposes. Explosive hits. Hopefully a couple of those might be worth something to someone. I'll probably really have to run a lot of these right through to make sure they're intact. I might have a quick look. Hits of 60, that's probably rubbish. I doubt it's a high quality mix. Surfing music. Oh, the Songs About Me, that might make a good blank tape. It actually seemed to be quite a good recording. Doesn't say anything about what sort of tape that is. It looks like it's just a standard one. But I don't think that's any good for anything. From Kitty's Kingdom. Nah, I think that's a blank tape. 1981 sound. Yeah, that one needs... I wonder if that just wants fast forwarding. Did it even fast forward and rewind properly? Nah, turned it off, didn't I? It's another thing I actually forgot is sometimes they do get out on the reel, so I can pay to run them right through. And we do have to, I might get back and just have a quick look at that Supernaut one. I'll wound that back in there, see if that sounds okay, just more for the sake of it than anything. And that gives us 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. And if I took that other one in, that's 30 tapes I can sell. So it should be worth at least $30 for that, you would hope. Even though some of them are a bit rough, I might have to change a few cases around. And that's another reason to buy these, is you can get some good cases. I mean, they're always a little scratchy and that, but if you've got a cracked one, or often these little pieces break off at the ends, that's still far better than a broken one. So I might zoom that tape through and fast forward and maybe back again, because sometimes that will center them. I forgot they used to get off center like that. Still have no idea how, because really the rollers in the cassette should do it. I mean, it's possible if the head was far out in the cassette deck or something, it might sort of pull it to one side, because that's about the only thing on the cassette deck. Sometimes you can get pinch rollers kind of pull to one side. So while it's playing, it's being pulled, and again the tape should sort of self-center again, but it may not. What is that noise? That sounds like something they put in there in the factory. I think they did used to have that. Something to do with Dolby, possibly. That one possibly is playing a bit better. Maybe fast forward through it again. What was that? 81 the sound. Counting the beat. 9 to 5, that's what that song is, isn't it?
They find it morning, noon, and night, and it's a wonder of nature.
Yeah, I don't think I really care about anything before about 1983. It's not really my thing. There's the odd good track. A couple of good ones started coming out in 82. Oh yeah, Akadaka, we've got to check that out. That's at the other end, I think, from 9 to 5. Oh no, it was at the same end as 9 to 5, wasn't it? Because that's the last track and that was the first. Alright, we'll run it through. There's a few of these old tricks are coming back to me from the old days. They were a bit temperamental sometimes, normally pretty good. Now that end of the tape definitely doesn't seem to be happy. Still got a lot of speed variations there, so let's just check it, see if anything looks dodgy, have a feel. That's weird, it did feel like high tension, now it feels loose as. Or is that just because the reel's spinning on? So that leaves a bit of slack, which you can then feels super easy, but that's not tight at all. That reel seems to, maybe it is catching or something, because it seems to suddenly spin. I don't think that's normal. Usually when you run them they should sort of go together like that, but even this one's doing a bit of jumpy stuff and getting ahead of itself a bit, so maybe that is normal. Again, it's been so long since I played with these things. That's very unhappy.
On the inside, through the walls, this worm is crawling.
You know, that's definitely, I remember who that song that wasn't. Oh, it is The Flowers. Gonna say it sounds like Icehouse and Ivor Davies. God, I haven't heard that song for a while. But yeah, so it's like every time it reaches a certain point on the reel, it slows down. Which is kind of similar to the way it suddenly speeds up and flicks a bit. You can see the tape kind of going a bit lumpy and changing tension there, so maybe there's something inside this is not right. Little felt pads off to one side, but I don't think it moves anyway. But look at it, you can just push it side to side. Something funny going on in this one. Does it do it the other direction? I guess is another thing. Yep, a lot worse. Ugh. Makes me wonder if this tape deck isn't getting a bit, because I have not put new belts in this deck, so maybe we'll try this in something else. I'll try that in a boombox or something, see if it's better. So that's using the Panasonic, what is it, RX DS520, which is a much newer box. I don't think I put new belts in this one either, but that's certainly playing better. So it's probably a good tape to test whether the belts are slipping or not, but it still doesn't sound 100%. Not as noticeable on that track on the other side, but the Flowers song is still playing up. So it goes to show wow can be caused by tapes. Strange not to feel anything in there though, unless it is something to do with I've rewound it through once, or nearly twice I think. Feels fine, especially when you wind a bit of slack on there. It's not particularly full of friction or anything, there's a little bit there maybe, but. And this is another Another glued cassette. That would have been one of the better ones to sell, but unfortunately, it doesn't anyway. I guess you'd have to put a straight edge on it or something. If I look down at it, it looks straight, doesn't look bent. So I think, unfortunately, this is a contender. I wonder if it's worth pulling it out. It's going to have to destroy it to do it. But put it in a more modern cassette housing. That's another old tape I got from somewhere. Master of Slack Key Guitar. Well, I guess we should actually see if it works. I think that's just one I got out of one of the junk bins, but it's got screws in it, so it's a bit newer, 1989. At least I can reach it. I thought these screwdrivers would normally reach the screws in these things. You'd hope so. Some of them are just a bit deeper than usual, but unfortunately that original case is going to have to go to the dump. I'm just looking at this tape. It's not chrome tape, is it? Before I chuck it away, it's a nice dark colour, but that doesn't mean much. You wouldn't know some of this. And Gabby died in 1980. Yeah, poor old Gabby's dead. Music was originally recorded on analog equipment. Preserves close to the sound of the original recording. Cassette can show limitations because of its resolution. But no, I don't see anything to say. Be ashamed to chuck out some chrome tape, but anyway, this would have cost like $1 if that. Let's carefully keep everything where it was. That does look like chrome tape. Geez, don't tell me I'm chucking out a good chrome tape. But anyway, we'll put that to one side. I should have rewound it, I guess. And I guess I should do the same with this one. It's a lot easier to work with if we get to the end of the tape. But yeah, that is quite a dark coloured tape, so that's not chrome. It'd be a miracle, really. But usually they tell you if they're going to bother putting on good quality tape. It's not really the sort of tape that they'd bother putting on a good quality tape, I wouldn't think. And why would you put it on good quality tape if you're not going to tell people? I mean, they should tell you, because you've got to play it at a different bias basically, so no idea. But it's tempting to keep that because it does look like a nice quality bit of kit there. Now we're just going to have to basically try not to damage the tape, that it doesn't go right into the corners, so whoop, that wasn't too hard. This one's not glued together real well, I don't think. Whoop, there we go. They're starting to come apart. May not even have to destroy the case. Not that it's really worth preserving it, but whoop. Tends to go all of a sudden. It's cracking along the top. So I don't think we're going to be able to preserve the case too well. And that's cracking again because it's got the middle joining bit, and we're not going to get to it, I don't think. I'm going to split the rest of it apart. Tape going everywhere. Got to be careful not to crunch the tape up too much. Another reason to do it at the end. Well, this, interestingly, someone seems to have disposed. Well, they can't have disposed of the leader tape, can they? Why is there a bit of leader? Well, you can't get inside this one, so that must have been made like that. That's pretty dodgy. Now I've got to very carefully try not to lose too much tape. That is kind of, yeah, not sitting the best, even though I've rewound it. So it's possible it's something to do with the cases is out or something, I don't know. It was, I think, always a bit of an issue with 90-minute tapes, and that's why they didn't always play the best, is they would get a bit out of whack like that. Wouldn't go back in the case 100% nice, and then they'd scrape on the sides more and create more tension. I don't think it was such an issue with the 60s and stuff. I think we've got to go on the other side of that pin and around the little roller. Come on, get in there. They are a fiddly thing to work on. Now we'll try and get it in the little slots. This is a more standard cassette tape than the case than the other one, where it's got the little bits that all split in half. These are much better because once you get them in there, they just sit in, sort of threaded in where they should be. All the later tapes are like this. I've got these little plastic bits sitting up at the bottom here. That other one had like all of it on one side and none of it on the other side, which was a silly design. I think that's why that was a little bit more messy, a little bit more trouble for me to play. But this has got pieces sticking right up. Only just a few of them, but I can't imagine that was running the smoothest. Now maybe if we fast forward it in this case, it'll level out again. Yeah, much easier. That's how they should be. So I'd say the earlier tapes, they probably had random ways of making them, whereas these later ones always used to split down the middle of these two pieces here, so you had a bit on each side. That's why they always slotted in nicely, and you didn't have any trouble putting the second half of the case on because it was already held in its path. Whereas that other one, it all was just hanging out everywhere. Like I say, I probably did it the opposite. You probably meant to check as you pull it apart and flip it over the right way, but I didn't actually know that at the time, because this is what the sort of tapes I always used to work with were like. All nice and simple. Maybe we'll fast forward through again and back. Don't think we need to keep those rollers. Not a lot of wear on this by the look of it. That one a bit more maybe. You can see where the tape right around has been scraping, so it's a sign that it's not sitting the best. It's a bit of brown muck on there is not the best sign. I don't know. It's like the tape's been really rubbing against the plastic there. It's only the back of it, so it shouldn't affect the sound, but yeah, don't know. It's sometimes what you got to do. I mean, you got nothing to lose because that tape's stuffed anyway. Doesn't like dire straits. Yeah, that's still not happy. We're right towards one end there. Yeah, that part of the tape, that's that split end song I was saying I was playing up before. It's something still wrong with that part of the tape, I think. That song seems to run better, but so it's a bit inconclusive there. It's a ridiculously long tape, although like I say, probably only 90 minutes. It's one of the reasons we didn't tend to use 90 minutes back in the day, because they were more prone to doing things like that. And like I say, it was a pain. They take so long to rewind and fast forward and stuff. I'm starting to see a few bits out, so maybe that's where I've been messing with it, but yeah, not sure. Don't know if it can be something to do with the tape itself. Don't see why it would end up off to one side. Yeah, it's a funny medium, that's for sure, and prone to mechanical issues and stuff. It can be, you know, being a mechanical medium, it can be something to do with the tape's gone sticky, or something got something on it, or it's deteriorating, or it can stretch. It can do all sorts of weird stuff. But yeah, don't know. It's weird that that particular end with the split ends and dire straits on the other side seems to be particularly bad and hasn't come right, whereas that flower song a bit further in seems to be getting better. So don't know what to do with that, but I think that tape may be a bit beyond it. That is definitely iffy, and I don't know why, because it doesn't feel bad. We put a new case on it, so it's got all new plastic slippery lubricating plate things. I mean, it's got the original reels, so maybe there's something up with the reels. It's not impossible that they've got more friction than they should, or something weird like that. I mean, one of the problems is I've got the reels from a different case. In this case, ideally you would keep the original reels because they're basically made, they're usually interchangeable, but it would still be better to have the reels that were designed for this plastic case. So maybe I could fast forward it through, undo that other tape, even though it looks like good chrome tape. I might just chuck that away and just swap the reels over, see if that makes any difference. Okay, so we'll let the glue dry on this one. Let's see if it actually operates. Yep, still in there, little felt thing. Yeah, it sounds really good. Nice highs and everything. I think it was sort of dropping out before. Yeah, I think that's a perfectly good tape now. Probably could do with a bit more testing, but that was a super naught one. I think they can go on the pile of working cassettes. And we've got the one that's now in the Gabby case, and that still had issues. We'll try it on this deck again. Yeah, that song now sounds fine. That was playing up a lot before, so I think we've fixed something. And why am I reading the track listing on that one? That's got nothing to do with it. Now where are we? Walls. So somewhere else was I don't know what any of these tracks are called. I think that was it. One step ahead. They still don't tell you the artists. Yeah, Split Ends, One Step Ahead. That was the bit that was playing up. So that's a couple of tracks before that. And Dire Straits on the other side.
I have to choose.
Certainly not perfect. One of the channels is dropping out a bit and stuff, so I think this tape is kind of stuffed anyway, but that definitely still sounds terrible. I think that is actually slowing down. So the only thing I was going to try is maybe changing the reels. I think if we rewind to one end, we can change one of them. I've got the remains of old Gabby's tape here somewhere, which, like I say, I was almost thinking about saving the chrome tape, but I don't think we'll worry about that. Usually you can just push the whole lot off, and I don't think we'll worry about the leader tape. Sometimes I think you can even pull those little splices. That's a little splice on the back. If you're really game, you can try and peel them off and reuse them, but they're pretty thin. Much better than the sticky tape, but all you do is slide this little piece out and you've got yourself a reel. And we can do the same other side, same thing. You just simply push it out from inside all the tape, slide the little piece out. Getting them in is a little bit more difficult than that, but that tape can go in the rubbish. And we'll pull this thing to bits. But yeah, we'll fast forward this one to the ends rather than just pushing it out like that. You might be able to get it back in if you're really game, but best to just get it to the end. I think we'll just, this tape is not going to be saleable again anyway. Might be alright for a test tape here. And yeah, it is a massive reel of tape. It's quite impressive that one. It's all on one reel. It only just fits in there basically, so it's, can't make it much longer than that. I think the 120 tapes were actually thinner tape, is why they recommend not using them, but whether that's just because they break or something, I don't know. But there used to be a thing going around, oh, this has got the, oh, it doesn't have a leader tape. Oh, that's right, this was that commercial one with that little, there's a little bit of tape sticking out. You should be able to push these little pins. Oh, it is coming, I think. Not that I really need to bother, I could just cut it, but if you can push that little pin out, I don't know if they're meant to push in again. It's just some little piece that's cut off, or what have they? Oh, it's not even part of the tape. I reckon that got stuffed up in the factory or something. Something happened and they either broke it off or it chopped it off by accident or something. If you just hold these on there, not the easiest thing to hold. Get it the right way around, no twisting the tape, although you can probably undo them depending how it ends up. And you just hold it a little bit past the gap and then we should be able to poke one side of that in, a little bit of tape, stick it up, and just that didn't go right in. It halfway went in. Okay, that's it. And I've gone sideways. So that's not much chop, is it? Can I slide that under? It's ripping the tape off. Oh, well, that solves that problem. Let's try again. Again, it's the sort of thing, if you do it reasonably often, you can get quite good at it, but back in the 80s I would have been able to do this no problem. But I've hardly done it since, so I need to even hold that other side. Probably more important to get the other side right, I guess. Don't really know if it matters much if I get fingerprints on this bit. Anyway, I can soon wipe them off with a cotton bud and some methate. Let's get the good side in first. Or not. Yeah, the one bit should go in and the other bit should click in. Yeah, that bit's a little bit out, but I think that's good enough. I guess that in itself. Did I get a twist in it or anything? What have I done now? Yeah, that's it. I don't think you can really stuff it up. But this is the original reel out of this thing. Out of this particular case. So there can't be any sort of, I guess, mechanical differences. Any mechanical differences to the original, what the original case was made for. Oh, I still got a little pin to go around there. You come on the inside of those pins, outside of the pulley, inside of the pin. A little bit of tape's really going to hold that out like that. It's sticking up. It's gone the wrong side, I think. With time that'll crunch flat, I'm sure. Get them into these little guides. Fiddly job. Everything's... yeah, that's it. So I can put it back together. And I'll have to fast forward to the other side. We'll try it. Now look at that, it's crunching it. Even when you get everything right, they're still a bit picky sometimes. It's kind of off to one side. It does not want to go. There we go. But I can't imagine the pulleys are to blame, but they could be. I mean, you never know if there's some friction on these little, they've got like a little raised sort of ridge around it. I guess that could even wear down with time. There's another something I never really thought of. That one's got that's got a lump out of it, and it was kind of carrying on like it was hitting a particular spot on one of them. I wonder if they actually wear down. It's got two pieces missing, I think, on that side. Normally they're a continuous thing. Like, it looks like it was made that way, but if they, I guess, actually wear away, then it doesn't sit on that little ridge so much. That could add friction. Either this one didn't have any, it must have a friction issue, but wasn't obvious like that other tape that was really tight, because the whole reel of, or whole spool of tape was off to one side from the reel. Oh well, we can try it. Of course it won't be on the same song now. So let's cue review it. I'll get rid of that little bit of plastic, I think.
Stay in motion, keeping open my head.
Certainly doesn't sound perfect. A little bit of wow as well as some dropout. That definitely doesn't sound good. Oh well, the only option is to rewind it, change the other reel. If that doesn't fix it, there's nothing more I can do with this thing. It's certainly possible it's something to do with that reel. Well, I'm at the other end of the tape and still no leader tape. So, though there is a little bit of clear stuff stuck in there again. What the? Is that jammed in there? I don't know what on earth I'm seeing here, but very rare to get to a tape to the end and there's no sign of any leader tape at all. So what do we have here? Do we have another loose? Yeah, just a random loose bit. It was kind of stuck to the other bit. Kind of on top of it, I think. Oh, now another piece broke off the back. What the? Oops, don't bump that. Yeah, that's, I don't know. But anyway, we'll get rid of that reel. Yeah, I think this is the way I used to do it. You hold the good side, or the side with all the tape on it, in to get it lined up. Shove that in, double click it, and that's better. There's hardly any sticking out the other side, which is probably better. It'll soon flatten down once you put all that on top of it. Anyway, but have I got that the wrong way around? No. What's going on here? That way. It should come out the side that it sort of faces to, which it does. Thankfully, for a minute I thought I had it on backwards. Not that it probably matters for this purpose, but best to get it right. Down you go. Never seems to want to go on everything at once. Turning the wrong way. That's out of its little hole. That's it. Everything. Now that reel hasn't got the tape on it. Or hasn't got the tape on it. Give me that. Yeah, everything in place, I think. Yep. So that looks, why does that stuff look like it's in the wrong spot? It's moved. The little silver sheet thing there's dropped down. Just notice that should go under this. There's little ridges on the inside of this plastic should hold it. And it's all very fine when you're on the downside, but when you're on the upside, you've got to locate it by hand. But yeah, these bits here should fit either side of it, and it was too far down. They were pressing onto it. Now it all looks good. A lot of them had a clear bit there, so it'll make it even harder, I guess. You think they'd all use a clear ones. I don't know why they went for these grey ones when you can see through the tape case. You'd think they'd put light coloured ones or translucent ones or something in there. A lot of them did. I think the TDK D90s and all that had translucent plastic or transparent even.
Need some loving anytime. She just gives a sign. It won't. Sun hurry world.
I don't think I've really listened to this end of the tape at all.
Hey man, turn it down.
What on earth is that?
Hey now, you middlemen!
Ah, Hakadaka!
Throw away your fancy clothes.
Your emotion, my solitude.
Well, it sounds worse. Unless it's just that beginning part of the song. Ah, it's definitely the tension in the tape. Because you can see the actual erase head drop down in this one.
I don't wanna be the crowd.
So that's really strange. Unless this deck's playing up more as it warms up, but you can actually see, because this has got that pivoting erase head, that's actually a handy deck to have it in. It's pulling down, so I've changed the reels, the case, and the little plastic bits in there that kind of act like bearings. And I was just saying about the TDK, so that one's, it's got them in there, you can see them, they start about there down to just where that gold writing is, and they're clear. So why didn't all the commercial ones seem to have these horrible grey things in them, which is a bit weird. I think they would have gone with a nice TDK style see-through, but anyway, that's just by the side, I guess. But yeah, unless something's, I didn't put back in quite right, but they look like everything's sitting there correctly. But yeah, interesting, it's actually got worse for some reason, but why on earth it's doing it, I have zero idea. It goes to show sometimes there's no obvious reason. Usually it's a tension issue and obvious, but this has got like a tension issue in one spot. That's the really, because you can see it, it goes round, you see it slow, the head drops. I think I saw it when I was winding it, the tape. Was it this one or a different one? Oh, something just happened then. What did I just see happen then? Ooh, yeah, see that little lump of tape? That is a tension thing. Why does it suddenly, like it's been, like this is dragging, and then all of a sudden it lets go and you get a loop of tape because the whole reel spins ahead of, it must build tension up. Yeah, there it goes. What on earth is causing that? It's actually looping down here, you can see it. Yeah, there it goes. It was a sudden zip. I don't think that's meant to do that. But if it's not the, if it's not the reel, it's not the real scrape on the case, what on earth is going on? It's like the tape must be sticky or something. I don't have any idea what that is, but this was the sort of issue you got with tapes. If we turn it upside down, does it work any better? There's a little loop. Some of that may be my uneven pulling of the tape. There it goes. But that can't be, oh, is it? Yeah, I don't know, it's like it's, there's something as jerky as at the moment. I don't think they normally do that. Well, this one's in the wrong spot anyway, but yeah, then again this one is a bit jerky too. Very weird, but that one doesn't seem to cause any issues in this deck. That is so weird. To actually see it pull the erase head is the weirdest thing of all. Though, it's not doing it with the big reel on that side, it only does it with the big reel on the take-up side and the small reel on the other side. It's about 1 RPM on the small reel because they're going at quite different speeds. So it seems to happen with every turn of the small wheel, or small reel I should say, once. Is there a lump in there? Or is it moving around in the case maybe? I guess that's what it is. Yes, it turns fairly quick. It's just the light going by it. There is a kind of slight bulge or movement of the reel in the case, but I have absolutely zero idea. I'm missing something obvious, I guess. Now I'm under that thing. That's the only other thing I can think of is there's something on the back of the tape. sticking or something, but I can't imagine it's that. Looks absolutely clean as if it were new. And we've got a few lines back in the tape that from me messing around with it, I guess it could probably do with a fast forward, rewind, cycling again. Maybe that is the issue. Maybe I need to do it a few more times. We'll try that. That's the last thing I'm doing with it. Didn't seem quite as bad after one rewind, fast forward cycle, so I might do one more. That song's playing up, which because I went a bit past the other one. So yeah, another fast forward rewind hasn't improved anything by the look of it. That must be Dire Straits. Well, at least it's not moving the head with so much tension. But that's it. I think that's as good as we can get that one. I don't know why. Oh, now it's still on this side. It's making the mix squeak a bit. But it's still on this side instead of the other one. And it stopped. I don't know what it is about that part of the tape. Could be partly due to this tape deck, but it was playing up on that other boom box as well. Interestingly, that other track seems to be working alright now. The other end of the tape's fine. So you'd think if it was a tension issue with the deck, it should do it in the same sort of position at the other end of the tape, where you've got exactly, in theory, the same tension if it's just based on length of tape. So no, I don't know with that one, but I think 1981 in the sound is a bit of a write-off. Oh, I've got air supply in there as well. I missed out on air supply, terrible. What air supply song have we got? Of course, you got it 80, was it 81, wasn't it? Yeah, 81, you've got to have air supply, early 80s. Dire Straits, Palmer, oh, Little River Band, so upset. Oh, every woman in the world. I don't think I even know that song from Air Supply, but there used to be a lot of them around, I guess, late 70s, early 80s. But anyway, that's that. That one, definitely not a saleable tape. I guess I can put it in there. Might be alright as a test tape around here. And yeah, unfortunately the original case I think is only really good for the bin now. But that's the way it goes sometimes. So that was still a pretty good run. It looks like the Supernaut one, I'll give that a bit more of a test later. Most of them I probably should give them a bit of a run in the background while I'm doing something, just to make sure they don't have any really bad patches. I mean, most cassettes you buy second hand, that's the risk you take. Could have damage in any part of the tape, like magnetism has damaged it or something, dropouts, all that sort of thing. Bits of the coating have fallen off or something, who knows. But you do often find bad patches in them. That's why buying second-hand tapes is a very iffy sort of business, unless you really got to have it, or if someone says they've actually played it right through. But then you've even got the issues with different tape decks that are probably going to react a bit differently and stuff. So not the greatest thing ever, but it's interesting to go through a few of these old ones again. And yeah, like I say, considering they're all damp and stuff, there's only really been, I think, 2 dud ones that I know for sure. 2 obvious dud ones, that one and the one I threw in a bin, which was just dirty and horrible anyway, so it wasn't worth the bother. The Supernaut one, just here, just that little felt bit dropped out. It is getting to be a problem. Most of these almost want poking with something if you're going to sell them, to see if those felt pads are loose and gluing them back on if they fall off. But anyone can fix those really. So that's about that for this one, so thanks for watching.